If I was a woman and I was on a dating app talking to a man and I'd already been in a Tesla and driven a Tesla and then found out in the dating app by asking questions and that, and he proudly said, oh, I drive a Tesla. If I was a woman, I'd probably move on, because the car is characterless, and is that a reflection of who is driving it? Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Richard. Welcome to Dickie's Car World, the first car to be reviewed proper. And this is the Tesla Model Y, rear wheel drive, long range. New, about £450. Let's put a screenshot up of how much these cars cost brand new. That's per month, obviously. And there's a hefty deposit to be laid as well. Second hand, 2-year-old, maybe knock off £100, £150 for the monthly fee. I've been riding. I normally review motorcycles, but I'm starting to review cars. I've been driving this car for a good few hours now, and later this afternoon I will be driving the all-wheel drive full power, and it's a good car. The Model Y is a good, nice car. It's very economical. If you're charging from home, then you've cracked it. I've heard that you can get 6 or 7 pence per kilowatt hour if you charge from home, which makes this really cheap to do per miles. Yes, so that's a good thing. That is a good thing. It's very comfortable in here. It's pretty quiet. It is pretty quiet. On the motorways, there's some noise, but it is pretty quiet. There's lots and lots of space for 3 kids in the back and for you and your partner. It's easy to drive. The software here is easy to get used to. It will take you a couple of days to get used to it, and then you're away. You'll just pick out the settings that you want and everything will be absolutely fine. What is not great about this car? Well, the first thing, I always thought that the Tesla car was okay. And now, having driven this car, I realise that it's got about as much character, from a motoring perspective, about as much character as a cardboard box. Whilst the inside is minimalist, it's just too minimal. If you are going to if you are thinking about buying a Tesla, and I'm assuming the Model 3 and all that good stuff are very, very similar. If you're thinking about buying a Tesla or leasing a Tesla, PCP a Tesla or whatever, then I suggest you take it out for a whole day and realise how characterless this vehicle is. It's so characterless, it's almost clinical. It's not the kind of car that you park up on your drive and at the end of the day when you go to bed and look out of the window and see the car on your drive, yeah, that you look down and smile. It's not that kind of car. It almost reminds me of the 1980s Volvo, where you could actually predict what kind of industry the driver was in. Now, in the 1980s, a Volvo was an expensive car. And 8 out of 10 times, you could guess that the guy that was driving it, because in the 1980s it was guys, the guy that was driving it would be something like an architect. Yeah? Get what I mean? And I'm guessing people are looking at me driving this car and thinking he's a bit pretentious, or not pretentious, it's like just characterless. If I was a woman and I was on a dating app talking to a man and I'd already been in a Tesla and driven a Tesla, and then found out in the dating app by asking questions and that, and he proudly said, oh, I drive a Tesla. If I was a woman, I'd probably move on, because the car is characterless, and is that a reflection of who is driving it? I don't know. I don't know. Do you understand what I mean? You see a lot of videos about this car that say it's absolutely fantastic. Oh yeah, it is. It's very, very fast. It's incredibly fast, but it's very American. It's very fast in a straight line. In fact, it's very fast from an acceleration perspective, but it is a bit twitchy on the front end. So if you're going to Tesco or just going to work and things like that, I think this car would be really, really great. What's not so good on it? The software in here, because I come from an IT perspective and software development, the software in here is questionable. I can see that America has offshored the software development here, because you're getting lots and lots of rubbish in here that you just don't need, and it becomes a distraction. It's just entertainment. Currently I'm looking at all these cars flashing by and seeing cars in front of me right here. It's watching it's giving me a representation of what's happening on the road. I shouldn't be looking at this, I should be looking at that. You don't need that. You should be looking at the road, you should be using your mirrors, and you should be driving it. Mirrors are good. The rear mirror is, the rear view is very small. The rear window is very, very small. It's like looking through a letterbox. Yeah? Just to make you aware. One thing I do like about it is when you're on dual carriageways or motorways, when you indicate, it recognises that you've moved into the lane and that you're moving into, and cancels the indicator. That's great. If you don't use your indicator and shift lane, then you get a stick rattle. Stick rattle. So the steering wheel goes like this, or it goes rrrr, and you can feel it. Not as pronounced as that, but you can feel it in the steering wheel. It's almost like an aeroplane where you get the stick wake up that tells you you're about to stall. I used to fly aeroplanes, and the stick used to go rrrr, warning you that you're about to stall. It's a similar thing here. So when you use your indicator, that rrr in the steering wheel doesn't happen. On UK motorways, when you go from lane 2 to lane 1, you do not need to indicate. You don't need to indicate. Subsequently, when you move from lane 2 to 1, It recognizes that you are moving lanes and it rattles the steering wheel, which is quite frustrating. A software update needs to be taken into account that culture of how we drive in the UK. Yeah? If I'm in the second lane and I indicate left and move to the first lane, you don't get the rattle through the steering wheel. We don't need to indicate left when we're moving from lane 2 to 1 or from lane 3 to 2, as long as we're driving safely. The cruise control is a bit spurious. It's got adaptive cruise, which bizarrely on an open road works on an open road it works reasonably well. When you're doing 70 mile an hour down the motorway in lane 1 and there is a car coming up towards you and you indicate right to go into lane 2 to overtake the car, what happens on a regular basis is that you're doing 70 mile an hour, you indicate right, you move into this next lane on the right, and then the car slows down to 65 mile an hour. And then it slowly creeps back up to 70. So the car that you're overtaking in the first lane, while you're in the second lane, is now moving away from you because they were doing 68 mile an hour and now you're doing 65. That is bizarre. You can override that by putting your foot on the throttle. But it's just strange. It's just a strange thing. The navigation, I was testing the navigation out, the inbuilt navigation. It's not so smart. It was trying to take me a particular route, and when I veered away from that route and went 30 miles away from that route for it to pick up a new route, which I thought it would, it didn't. It constantly wanted me to turn around and go back to where it originally wanted to go. You would have thought it had been smart enough to remap itself and then move forward with a new route. Maybe it's a setting in this car. I don't know. The paneling. I've had a good look around this car. This car is just less than a year old. The paneling around the car and the gaps around between the panels are not good. The build quality and how it's been put together is not good. There are gaps that are wider on one side than the other. It just shouldn't be happening in 2026 with a company so large as Tesla producing so many cars. It just shouldn't, the gap. I'm not saying this car hasn't been through an accident, but it looks like it's been through an accident where one gap on one side is wider than the other side. Yeah, I'm just saying. There we are. It's warning me, and it's like it's taking over. Is there anything else that I don't like about the car? It's not as fun. You can get a much better car that's much more fun, be it petrol, diesel, or electric. It's just too clinical. It's very, very boring. it's a, I feel like it's just a bit of a boring car. Have you got one? You tell me your thoughts. Any regrets about buying it? Do you wish you'd gone and got a convertible? Or something like that, something with a bit of passion? Here we go. Here we go. The charging is good, but the mileage is not accurate. It's just not accurate. If it says 250 miles and you're doing motorway journeys, at 70 mile an hour, you will not get 265 miles. You would have thought such a vehicle would be more accurate, even at 70 mile an hour. Imagine if this was over in France where you're doing 80 mile an hour. It says 265 miles, you do 100 miles, and then it doesn't say 165, it'll say 90. And this is in summertime. Yes? This is meant to be a good mile muncher. And it acts not reflective of what it says on its capability from a mileage perspective. Do you find this as well? Do you own a Tesla? You tell me, because I see a lot of Teslas on the motorway. So they must be suffering the similar issue. Having driven this Model Y, would I buy one for my personal needs? No, because it's just characterless. I like a bit of character in a vehicle. I don't want something that's just super practical. If I was working for a business and someone offered me a company car, would I pick one of these? Well, if I wasn't paying for the fuel and the company was paying for the fuel, then no, I'd go and get something with a bit more character. So what I'm suggesting here is, if you are thinking about buying a Tesla Model Y, as fast as it may well be, you should take it out for a whole day. Take it up and down the motorways, take it round the countryside, enjoy it, and see how bland the car is. It's not the car where when you walk away, you look back and smile, saying, I'm glad I bought that. It's just not that kind of car. It really isn't. The audio system, it's got something like, I don't know, is it 17 speakers or something like that? Absolutely fine. But when you've got the audio on low, the body of the audio just doesn't exist. There's too much treble. When you turn it up, and you can really turn the audio up, that's when the body and volume of the music comes out. But most people are not going to have this blasting out in the car. They're going to be sedate drivers, blah, 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 blah. And that's another thing. You never see Tesla drivers thrashing around on the street. So the sedate drivers, remember the Volvo 1980s architect, that drive sedately. There we are, the shake's just come through as I've changed lanes without indicating left. It's just come through. So, you know, going back to the audio, instead of having 17 speakers, have 6 speakers of higher quality, yes, that can project bass at a low volume. Yeah, I know it's got a graphic equalizer, but you shouldn't have to be pissing around with the graphic equalizer on such an expensive vehicle that's made of cardboard. No doubts it's a great car because everybody's buying them, or everybody's PCPing or leasing them. But I think you can buy a much nicer EV car than a Tesla. Something that's got much more character. You tell me your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was thought-provoking. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. There's many more cars coming over the next 12 months. And we're going to be looking at all sorts of models and all that good stuff. It's going to be good fun. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, comment below your thoughts, and share it on to someone that's thinking about buying a Tesla. I'm trying to be generally honest and transparent, so we'll take it from there. Have a good day and drive safely. See you soon. Bye-bye.